Hello, good evening everyone. Welcome to today's session. I am Asmita, your IELTS mentor here at Vedantu, and before I begin yapping, let's make sure the audio, video and everything is good to go. Hopefully you're doing well. Sorry about the slight change in timing today. There were just some circumstances that were unavoidable. That's why I couldn't come live at 2 p.m. But here I am showing up. That's what matters, right? Whether you wake up at 4 a.m. and start preparing for the IELTS or you do it at 12 a.m. at night before going to bed, it doesn't matter. What matters is showing up every single day, regardless of whatever is happening in your life. All right, so let me know if we are good to get started. And today I will be giving you 10 essay prompts that are most likely going to be present in some form or the other, obviously not word to word, but in some form or the other in your IELTS 2025 test. Now the thing with 2025 is, like I've told you in a video, if you watch that video where I told you the changes that are taking place this year, is that a lot of trending topics, is not trending as in social media memes, but trending as in news, will be a part of the test in some capacity. It could be reading comprehension, but most likely it's going to be a part of your writing and speaking test. So you have to have some sort of general awareness. What I've done today is I've taken 10 topics, that is the whole umbrella of topic. How do I say this without giving it away? What I mean to say is I've taken 10 different topics in one sample essay from them. Now, the thing is, there can be topics that overlap. So if, let's say I pick, whoops, gotta put my phone on silent. Yes, hi, good evening. Right, so if we have a topic that is, for example, health. Right? Health is not going to show up in isolation. It's not like health is going to be the only thing that's discussed. We will also have a subtopic related to it. For example, governance. Right? So it could be how government is responsible for public health. Or we can have a subtopic like environment. How pollution or climate change is impacting our health. Or we can have, I don't know, can you think of something else that overlaps with health? Let me make you do the thinking. Is there anything that you think can overlap with health? I've given you governance, I've given you environment. Is there anything else that you feel can overlap? Come on, Summer, quickly. You are very active. Generally, you give me answers, so I'm expecting answers from you. And everybody else who's watching, quickly, I need responses in the chat. For instance, if we think of health and governance, then we can have a question like, should healthcare be free, right? Do you think it's okay to increase taxes in order to make healthcare free for all? Stuff like that. That's the health plus governance overlap. Okay, very good, Sion. Lifestyle, that's amazing. I mean, see, the thing is, lifestyle also is a subtopic of health. It's not a different topic as such that overlaps, but you're thinking in the right direction. Yes, health plus lifestyle can definitely come together. So don't expect a topic in isolation. Finances, yes, very good. Healthcare concerns, Summer, comes under the ambit of health, and healthcare comes under the ambit of governance. Let's try this again with a different topic and see what all it can overlap with. For example, if I have crime, what all can crime overlap with? What are the things that crime can overlap with? Let me give you one. For example, psychology. Another one is education. Right? Another one is governance. Can you give me maybe two more that can overlap with crime as a topic? Quickly, everybody. prison is it's not a different topic, right? It's not like I can present prison as a topic which has many things under it. For example, if I talk about education, there are many things that can be spoken about when it comes to education, right? The importance of education, the syllabus, curriculum, many different aspects. Prison doesn't have many different aspects. Prison comes under, okay, crime and environment is interesting. And you know how that can overlap? A possibility of that overlapping is a lot of people are saying or now considering the fact that due to climate change and temperatures getting very hot, people are actually starting to lose their minds. This is a very real concern and a very real possibility. And if people do end up losing their minds, then it can so happen that crime rates can go up. Another thing that definitely overlaps with crime is society, class, social structures, right? Do you think it's always the socially disadvantaged class that commits crime, especially when it comes to things like petty theft, right? What is the overlap of society and class with crime? So that's also something that we can look at, right? Yes, very good, Achyut. So you will not get a topic in isolation. What I'm trying to explain to you is, you will always have a topic that is interlinked with another topic. What I'm going to tell you today are 10 topics. Obviously, they are overlapping with some other topic, but that becomes the subtopic in that case, right? So what you're going to see is the main topic. You have to tell me what the subtopic is. You are going to see one sample essay question, and what you are going to do is you are going to give me pointers for that essay question. So we are going to discuss 10 of these today that you will most likely see in the 2025 IELTS. All right? Okay, so let's get started with the first one. But before we do that, if you truly wish to make your study abroad dreams come true, then you need the right kind of guidance. And the only way you're going to get it is if you trust a platform that has been helping you out so far. Vedantu is offering a free counseling to you. Career counseling, as you might know because you might have done some research, can become very expensive, and you're already shelling out a lot of money to go and study abroad. Why spend this extra 50-60,000 unnecessarily? That too on some dubious company that might not even give you the kind of counseling that's required. In this case, these people that you're going to get in touch with are experts at sending people abroad. So everything, how to get a visa as quickly as possible, what are the requirements that need to be met so you can make sure your visa is not rejected, how to get the best possible scholarship. So whatever it is that you're struggling with, these people will definitely help you out. So make sure you fill out that form that you see in the description. All right? Okay, coming to our first topic, our first essay topic is education. Now, education is a very common topic even in speaking, and the reason why it's a common topic is because it's a huge part of your life. You can be asked a simple question. We turn off the AC for a bit, feeling cold. So a simple question like, do you work or study, is also under the umbrella of education. Do you like what you're studying? What is your major? Do you want to what is it that you don't like about your major? Do you wish to change it in the future? Do you want to pursue a career in the field of study? Questions like this. Okay, Sion, if you haven't gotten any call, then I will make sure that you do. I will let the management know that you have filled out the form and not gotten a call. Ralston, it's good to be a skeptic. It's actually appreciated in this day and age because who are you? Okay. No, I am not very rich. If that's what you're trying to imply, I don't know who you're talking to. Okay, so here, coming back on track, education is frequently talked about when it comes to the IELTS speaking test. Now, in the writing test, what can you expect? In the speaking, it's going to be related to you and everything that you do, right? What can you expect in the writing test? Okay, here's a sample essay. Some people believe that academic subjects such as mathematics and philosophy should be compulsory, while others believe that students should be allowed to choose only those subjects they are interested in. Discuss both views and give your opinion. So now for those of you who are seeing writing prompts for the very first time, the number one thing I would like to tell you is that whenever you see a writing prompt, make sure you're paying attention to this part. Because this is your direct actionable, right? Direct actionable. This is what you need to do when it comes to the writing test. 1 second, sorry, I'm having some air conditioning issues. Let me fix that very quickly. Right, so that's what you have to directly do in the essay. In this case, what are you doing? You're discussing both views and giving your opinion. I've told you multiple times that the essay structure for discuss both views and give your opinion is intro. Then your body paragraph 1 will be your view 1. Your body paragraph 2 will be your view 2. Then you will have your outro or conclusion in which you will give your opinion, right? Alternatively, another flow that you can follow is you can give another body paragraph here. So body paragraph 3 can be your opinion, and then you can give your conclusion, which will be an overview of everything that was discussed. So this is an alternative flow. This is also something that you can follow. Okay, so this is what you have to do when you have discussed both views and give your opinion. Now the question here says, some people believe that academic subjects such as mathematics or philosophy should be compulsory. So this right here is what? Viewpoint 1. Then what does it say? While others believe that students should be allowed to choose only those subjects that they are interested in. This is viewpoint 2. So pink is viewpoint 1, blue is viewpoint 2. You have to talk about both viewpoints, then give your opinion. So what I want from you right now is I want one argument in favor of viewpoint 1, one argument in favor of viewpoint 2, and then your opinion. I want 3 things from you. Can you provide that in the chat very quickly? I need you to tell me these 3 things quickly in the chat. Ralston, we can talk about this in the last 5 minutes of the class, all right? Because then it just sort of derails the entire class, and everybody here who's been with me, you are joining in for the first time. Those of the kids who have been with me already know these things because I keep telling them these things. So they can drop off, and then towards the end we can discuss, and I will tell you how you can do this. I don't know about succeeding in life because that's in nobody's hands. You can only try. So I can definitely tell you the first 2 things, how you can improve your spoken English skills and how you can build confidence. Okay, quickly everybody, start sending in your arguments, and do not give me some AI generated crap, because I can easily tell if you have, because see, even to generate even to get AI to generate good stuff, you have to give good prompts. And I don't think a lot of you are able to give good prompts. which is why your the content that you've gotten generated, I can very easily tell that it's AI. And in the actual IELTS test, even if you think you're going to give a computer-based test, there is no possibility of cheating. You are going to be proctored end to end. If you think you're giving a home-based IELTS test, you will have to share your screen, you will have to give access to what you're doing on your desktop, there will be a webcam, a camera, there will be multiple people monitoring what you're doing, so you can't cheat in the home IELTS either. So don't think that there's any possibility of cheating, which is why right now you shouldn't be cheating, you should be trying to come up with your own sentences. Very quickly, I don't want a fully fleshed out essay. You have to write a 250 word long essay. I am not asking for a 250 word long essay. I'm simply asking you to give me one argument for viewpoint 1, which is in pink, one argument for viewpoint 2, which is in blue, and your opinion on the matter. For example, if I was to give an argument for viewpoint 1, I'd say something like, children are too young to know what they wish to study and what they are interested in. So unless we give them a basic foundation, they won't be able to decide for themselves because they won't have any knowledge of the world around them. Studying subjects like academic subjects like mathematics, philosophy, languages will give them that solid foundation that then they can build upon and decide what they're interested in. That's my argument for viewpoint 1. My argument for viewpoint 2 would be something like, there is the advancement in science and all other subjects, even history as time goes by. There's so much knowledge that we have accumulated that students are already under a lot of pressure. And if we force them to study all subjects, they might not be able to get into the depths of any one subject. So it's better for them to choose what they're interested in and actually become a master in that subject rather than studying everything and not really gaining expertise in any of them. That can be an argument for viewpoint 2. My opinion would be that in the foundational stage, when children are young, they should study everything at a basic level. And once they reach, their post-teenage years, they should be able to make their own decisions as to what they want to pursue and study. But in school, there needs to be a standardized curriculum and they need to learn everything because they're too young to sort of make that decision. That would be my opinion. So I've shared what I would write in this essay. Now I need you to tell me what you would write. Just like Sion has done, let's see what he's written. Those academic subjects like mathematics and subjects can... Okay, Sion, I'm not exactly sure what your point is. Subjects like mathematics are important and the reason is so by what you're trying to say is learning these basic foundational subjects can give them the knowledge that they require to make more informed decisions in life, right? So this is like a basic foundation that they need to have to be able to think for themselves. So instead of saying it's the basic problem, say it provides a basic foundation. All right? Okay, what about the rest? I don't see your arguments coming in. If you're going to take this long, then I'm not going to wait. See, the reason why I'm doing this is so I can give you feedback and I can correct your answers for you, and maybe if you're going wrong somewhere, I can help you out with that. If you just want information from me, that's very easy. I can just give you information very quickly and move on. What does this teach? Who is this? Who is this? Absolutely, this is for IELTS. Ralston, what is your question? I just see a question mark. Alright, so I have shared what my viewpoint 1 and viewpoint 2 would be. I'm moving on now because you're taking too much time. The second topic is technology. So when it comes to technology, here's a sample question. The widespread use of the internet has given people access to information on a level never experienced before. Now see, here there are no two viewpoints. Two opposing viewpoints are not being shared. It's not asking for your opinion. Here the actionable is something different. What is it? How does this impact the way people live and work? Is this a positive or negative development? So it's a two-pronged question, right? First thing you need to do for the yellow, the part I've underlined in yellow, is a factual observation, right? You have to share your observation about this particular phenomenon. And then for what I've underlined in blue, here you have to give your opinion on whether this is positive or negative. So this is a different kind of question. Amal, what do you mean you've joined IELTS? How can you join IELTS? Are you preparing for the IELTS? When are you planning to take it? Yes, this is a regular class, Ralston. Generally, it happens at 2 p.m. Just today, it happened at 5 because of certain circumstances. All right. So what is the phenomenon that we're talking about? What is this? This is the widespread use of the internet, right? Access to information. Everybody thinks they're an expert at everything because they can simply Google something and find out, right? Earlier, we used to seek people out who had knowledge about a specific thing. For example, now everybody thinks they're a doctor, and doctors are quite fed up of this because when you go to them for a diagnosis, instead of listening to what the doctor has to say, everybody's like, no, but I read online that this is this, this is that. So everybody thinks that just by Googling something or now asking AI something, we can become an expert at something. That's the kind of access to information that internet has given to people. Do you think this is good or bad? And how does this impact the way people live and work? See, when it comes to work, it's quite simple. It has made work easier. It's made the world more connected. So the physical distance is no longer a barrier. People can work on anything from anywhere, right? Because most of our valuable output when it comes to the economy as a whole, or capitalism for that matter, has to do with the internet and working online through computers. Okay? As a matter of fact, now to take a test, an important test like the IELTS, you no longer have to leave your house. You can do it at home if you have a good internet connection. So it has definitely changed the way people live and work. Now you just have to talk about the positives and negatives of this. Okay? So these are the kind of questions that you can expect when it comes to technology. Another big player in technology right now is obviously artificial intelligence. So you have to be updated on the latest developments around artificial intelligence and you need to be able to talk about them. Alright? Okay. Next is environment. Another key issue. Expect this topic in 2025. Now over here, some people think that whenever you have a some people think that you know that they are going to be Shubham, you can't score an 8.2 in the IELTS. You either get an 8 or an 8.5. Yes, Amal, this is. Very good, Sion. There's no doubt that internet makes the lifestyle smoother. Not the lifestyle of us. Instead, you will say our lifestyle. Smoother. Internet helps people take knowledge rather than looking through the books. Instead of saying this, you can say it's not take knowledge. It's gain knowledge. Alright? Gain knowledge. Right? And you can always talk about how they're able to gain knowledge faster and with more convenience. Okay? Alright. Now, Whenever you have something that starts with some people this, know that it's going to be viewpoint 1 versus viewpoint 2 and your opinion. It's going to be that kind of a writing prompt. Here in this case, what is viewpoint 1? Individuals should be responsible for reducing pollution. What is viewpoint 2? Government's responsibility, right? And the responsibility of large companies. So this is something, this is a topic that has been widely debated and a lot of people are talking about it. So I will answer all of your generic questions later, all right, Amal? Last 5 minutes of the class, we can keep for all the generic questions, okay? So here, this is a very commonly debated topic. Now, the thing is, the argument for viewpoint 1 can be something like, you know, it's the English version of Boond Boond Se Sagar Banta Hai, that little efforts done at an individual level will compound over time, and that will bring about large-scale change. No change can ever be enforced. It has to come from the change in consciousness of a population, right? So when individuals will make efforts, it will have a ripple effect. If I start recycling, my neighbor might get influenced and start recycling, and this will spread. Slowly but surely, there will be a compounding effect, and that will have a certain impact on the environment in a positive way. That's an argument for viewpoint 1. Another argument for viewpoint, now a different argument for viewpoint 2 is the way the climate catastrophe is taking place and the rate at which global warming is happening. We don't have enough time to see the fruits of these individual efforts, and something has to be done at a large scale. Only the government is capable of bringing about any kind of large scale implementation. Other than that, it is the large companies that are responsible for the carbon footprint. They have the highest carbon footprint. What individuals are doing doesn't have enough of an impact as opposed to what large companies are doing. So the entities that are polluting more should be responsible and should be asked by the government to make sure that they reduce their carbon emissions, right? So that's an argument for viewpoint 2. If I were to give my personal opinion on this matter, I would think that sure, individual responsibility is necessary because it brings about the right kind of action from your end, and you are living life with more connected with your values. So individual effort is always important. But in this case, especially when it comes to climate, it is the responsibility of governments and large companies, because this is a huge public health concern and this has the capacity of actually destroying our entire planet. So this is something that the governments and large companies need to work on ASAP. That is my personal opinion, alright? Amal, the classes happen online. As you can see, they're happening online right now. Vedantu does have a lot of centers all across India, but we are not taking IELTS classes in those centers. You can attend these classes online right here where you are, because technology and the internet has made it easier for us. Alright, so that was environment. Moving on to topic number 4, health. Now, I told you about those subtopics and everything, right? So here you can definitely see an overlap of subtopics. Some people believe that the government should provide free healthcare for everyone. I think I gave you this exact example. Amal, yes, there are centers in Kerala, definitely, but we're not taking IELTS classes in those centers. So if you're looking specifically for IELTS coaching, that is happening online. If you are looking for something else like JEE, then you have many physical centers that you can visit. There are many centers in Kerala. You can just Google the closest center to your house and go there and get more information. Alright. So, now here, to what extent do you agree or disagree? This is a different kind of question, STEM, so you need to be aware. To what extent? So here is agree, 100%. Here is disagree, 100%. The question is asking, where do you lie? Are you over here? 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 Where in this scale do you lie? To what extent do you agree or disagree? Okay? Yes, Amal, I am teaching IELTS right now. These are different essay questions that can come in the IELTS test. Okay? Alright. So let's quickly see. For me, personally, I would say that yes, government should provide free healthcare for everyone. But, and there is a but here. So I don't agree 100%. I would be somewhere over here. And I would say that free healthcare should, number one, not put a very major tax burden on the middle class population of that country. I feel like taxing individuals at very high rates to be able to afford free healthcare is not the solution. The solution is to make sure that necessities, especially like education and healthcare, are just given a larger chunk of the budget than they are currently given. The healthcare should be of good quality. It's not like just because it's free, you can have shady doctors give some random medication without proper diagnosis, which is generally the case when it comes to free healthcare in our country. Everyone should have access to it, but the rich, especially the higher, like the top 10% of the population, can be incentivized to let go of their free healthcare in order to support the other members of society. So I would say that I agree that yes, their free healthcare should be provided, but there are some terms and conditions attached that need to be taken care of, right? It's not a blanket, yes, provide free healthcare. Provide free healthcare and make sure that these things are also taken care of. That's my opinion. Yes, Amal, I teach IELTS end to end. Okay, if you just go through the channel once and you will find videos on all sections of the IELTS. You can start attending live classes now regularly. That will give you a better idea and understanding of everything that I teach here. Alright? So this is a different kind of question, a very interesting question, and it's under the topic of health. Now we have reached a halfway mark and the next topic is globalization. Okay? Okay, very interesting question, Navdeep. Why do some people ignore their health? Even when they know it's important, there can be many different reasons for this. Number one could be they simply cannot afford to take care of their health. They might be working night shifts, they might be working dual shifts to make ends meet, and they simply don't have the time to get enough sleep, to spend on healthcare, to get nutritional food or food with good nutrition. So there's just circumstances that don't allow them to take care of their health. Next is there can be a lack of awareness. People just might not know that the things that they're doing have a negative impact on their health, right? So there can be many different reasons for why this happens. Sion, don't ever say I am agree. You can just say I 100% agree. When you're writing, don't write 100%. That doesn't sound formal and good. You can say this. While speaking, you can say I agree 100%. But when you're writing a formal essay, avoid doing that. Alright? Okay. Shubham has a hot take. Now, globalization has made it easier for people to access food from all over the world. Some believe this is beneficial while others think this is harmful to local cultures and economies. Again, this is a discuss both views and give your opinion question. This question is a little difficult. It requires you to think a bit more. So let's think about it a little bit. Viewpoint 1 is having access to food from all over the world is beneficial, right? So reasons why this can be beneficial, it's more exposure to different cuisines. You can get nutritious food from all over the world. You can experiment more with taste, right? So these are all arguments for viewpoint 1 that this is beneficial. Second is more, it's benefit for farmers because their market increases, right? Local farmers, let's say farmers in Mexico who used to grow avocados. Before avocados became a huge sensation globally, their market was limited to their country or neighboring countries that would had avocado as a part of their cuisine for a long time. Now, because the whole world, thanks to globalization, knows that avocados are nutritious, they have a lot of benefits, they taste good, and because people have more and more exposure to what Mexican cuisine looks like, what guacamole is, stuff like that, then now the farmers have a bigger market. So that is beneficial for farmers. So these are all arguments for viewpoint 1. Let's look at arguments for viewpoint 2. Others think it is harmful to local cultures and economies. Now, what are some reasons for this? Local farmers suffer because you are now eating imported food. Okay. हंटर फ्रेंच आती है आपको क्योंकि वहाँ पे तो फ्रेंच ज़रूरी होगी. कुछ यूनिवर्सिटीज़ IELTS भी एक्सपेक्ट करती हैं और IELTS मांगती हैं. नेक्स्ट वी हैव disrupts obviously the local economy because now people want this fad food, fad diets. Environmental impact. If you don't have sustainable growth of a particular food crop, you are growing it, it requires more resources like more land and more water. There will be more deforestation to make agricultural land. You will use more and more tons of water to sustain the farming. And the transportation of some food from one country to another is very expensive and very heavy on carbon emissions because you have to keep the food fresh, it is traveling a very long distance. So all of these things have a bad impact on the environment. That is an argument for viewpoint 2 why this is harmful. My opinion on this will be, while it's good to have a limited amount of imported food so that you can have that kind of exposure to different cultures and cuisines, it is also extremely necessary to cap this so that the environmental impact can be mitigated and also local produce and local farmers don't suffer as a consequence of imported, perhaps cheaper imported food. Alright? Chalo, very good, Hunter. All the very best. Yes, Shubham. Navdeep, small businesses definitely suffer because of globalization. Cottage industries have shut because countries with cheap labor mass produce things in factories. For example, China mass produces a lot of things and all of that is cheaply available in India. Because of this, local manufacturers and local producers suffer as they cannot afford to slash their prices to the level of Chinese goods. Alright? Okay. Next is Crime and Punishment. Also the title of a very good Dostoevsky book. Now here, where's my pen? Some people believe that longer prison sentences are the best way to reduce crime, while others believe that alternative methods such as education and rehabilitation are more effective. What is viewpoint 1? Longer prison sentences. What is viewpoint 2? Education and education and rehabilitation. What do I think in this case? While some crimes do need longer prison sentences because of their very nature and how just far gone they are. For example, there are many very brutal and gruesome rape and murder cases in which you have to give life sentences, because scope for rehabilitation for such heinous crimes is quite limited. But when it comes to other crimes, definitely really studying the demographics and the kind of people who are committing these crimes, what their childhood was like, did they have traumatic experiences, did poverty and class issues, in India even caste issues, some kind of discrimination play a role in all of this. These things need to be studied, and then education and rehabilitation can play a key role in making sure that these kind of crimes don't happen again. Also, rehabilitation for criminals, past criminals, is extremely necessary so that they can be integrated again into society. And once they have served their sentence and mended their ways and changed their behavior, they shouldn't be discriminated against when they again become a part of society. So rehabilitation in that case is necessary. My opinion on this is that some crimes deserve long prison sentences because they're too heinous, too brutal, while others can be dealt with through education and rehabilitation. So both of these things have to work in tandem and on a case-to-case basis depending upon the nature of the crime. Alright. Navdeep giving you all some interesting prompts to think about. Thank you, Navdeep. Next, we have media and advertising. Nowadays, many children are exposed to advertising. Some people think that this has a negative impact on them. Now, this is a to what extent question. I've already explained how to answer this question. So, I'm going to go straight to the explanation of the prompt itself. Many children are exposed. What is the thing that they're saying? This has a negative impact. So, I would say I agree to a great extent that advertising has a negative impact on children because advertisements are meant to manipulate children. The entire point of advertisements is to get children to buy the product. And so they do have a negative impact. Children are incapable of making these kind of sensible, critical decisions for themselves, and just because the advertisement is targeting them and manipulating them, they fall into that trap and end up forcing their parents to purchase something that they didn't require in the first place. It teaches them to be selfish, to be materialistic, and also to give into peer pressure because the advertisements make something seem cool even if it's not. They fall into that kind of peer pressure and think that this is what will make them cool. So I agree to a very, very great extent that advertisements have a negative impact on children. That is my opinion. Alright. So now for the next 3 topics, I am just going to read the prompt. Alright. What you are going to do is, out of 8, 9 and 10, you are going to pick one and answer in comments. I am not expecting a 250 long word essay. I am expecting you to give me 5 sentences that cover all the basics of what you wish to say. Alright. So here the first one, we have work-life balance. In many countries, people spend long hours at work. For example, Japan is a case study of this. Why is this? What problems can this cause? So here I'm giving you a bonus. You can mention famous case studies like Japan. Japan is a big example of this. Next we have number 9. Oops. Culture and tradition. This is also a very important topic. In some countries, traditional customs are being lost due to modern technology. Why is this happening? Should this be seen as a positive or negative development? Alright, here the bonus tip that I'm going to give you. Mention examples from your own culture. Right? For example, a lot of cultures have a tradition of hand sewing things, embroidering things, and because of modern technology, that's no longer relevant. So you can give such examples in your answer. And finally, social issues. Some people believe that poverty is the root cause of all crimes. Very interesting question. Make sure you don't give a very contentious response to this. Do you agree or disagree with this statement? Here I'm going to give you a bonus tip that for such questions, a balanced and nuanced answer is appreciated. Saying a yes, that's what the reason for all crime is not a good response in this case. Alright? Yes, Navdeep, good statement, but that is just an introduction statement that you've given. So you have a lot more crafting of your argument to do in response. Alright? So pick any one, 8, 9 or 10. I've given you some bonus points for each. Make sure you're giving me at least 5 sentences worth of good material that explains your argument properly. Alright? And that's the end of today's class. Thank you so much. I hope that was helpful for you. If yes, do subscribe to the channel. All those of you who came here today for the first time, I hope to see you on this channel regularly. And make sure you follow us on Telegram so you don't miss out on updates. I will see you soon at 2 p.m. tomorrow. Alright? Shubham, Shubham in the comments, not in the chat. Comments. Whatever you've written here, copy paste it in the comments. Alright? I will take a look at all of your responses in the comments, and for all you know, there's a giveaway coming for those of you who are giving me the best responses in the comments.